Welcome to Empower Team Call. Tova Privet here, and Sabrina and I are excited tonight to talk to you guys about onboarding and retention and just how to hone that system in to work for you and work for your customers. A few housekeeping things. Remember to look out for the Empower page. We're about to transition over to that in a week to add our customers in. Right now, it's still just for business builders. But we'll give more info as that comes. And Wednesday, we have an event. Natalie and I will be doing the event where we're really highlighting products. So this is great for all prospects and even your new customers who want to learn a little bit more about it, but mainly geared at exposing people to Plexus who've never taken it before. So we'll send out wording for that and a graphic for that to come. But without further ado, just a little intro about this. We have onboarding systems and retention systems that everybody who's not brand new should be pretty familiar with. And the goal of today is really to review a lot of that and maybe simplify it a little bit, and then give some tips as the things that Sabrina's doing and I'm doing that might be an option for you guys. So I will try to finish with a few minutes at the end if you have any questions. If we come close and you're not sure exactly what to do, how or where, just always reach out to your upline and they'll help guide you with any questions on that. But we're going to go over all the steps, what to say, when to say it, and how to set yourself up for success. So we're going to let Sabrina start off on reach out number one.
Hey guys, I'm Sabrina Diaz. I'm an Emerald Ambassador, just like Tova. And the reason why we wanted to highlight onboarding and retention is because it is by far the absolute most important part of your business. So we're not a welcome pack business. We don't just sign somebody up and hope for the best. We have to guide them, teach them, show them the way. And without your constant service to them, they will quit. It's not an if, it's a when. So you have to really get yourself organized, and we're going to teach you a really, really simple system to do that. So first off, this is the most important part. It is vital to print out any random blank calendar off of Google. Print out 12. It takes about 30 seconds. Print out all 12 for the entire year. And this way, each time you sign somebody up, you can put their name and what day it is, what message you're going to send to them on the calendar right away. So if I signed up Amy on day 1, I'm going to put Amy day 1 next to the first, then Amy day 3 on the 3rd, Amy day 7. So I know on that day, so when my day is completely chaotic, like it was this morning, I know when I open up my binder, pull out my retention calendar, that is what I have to do that day. And it is extremely easy. Now I'll tell you when it gets hard, when you don't take that 5 minutes to put their name down and write it on the calendar for March, February, whatever month it is, throughout the entire year. That's when it gets hard because you don't have organization, you lose track, and you can't retrack your steps very fast. So when you have a lot of people, this is the easiest system that we have come up with, and it's proven to work. Hands down, it's proven to work. So today, I challenge all of you to just print out those blank calendars and get it set up so your retention system is on point. So what we wanted to go ahead and start doing is we're going to go by each day. We want to reach out to our clients that we have just signed up for an entire 3 months consecutively. And then we follow up with them twice a month after that. But those first couple days are crucial. And that reach out number 1 looks like we have a checklist, and we're going to be able to send this out to everybody. But you want to make sure that you add them to our team page. That's where all that information is going to come from. And it kind of gets them part of our community to see what our culture is like, to see different testimonies, ideas, and just to let them feel like that they are part of something, not only just a client on the products. You also want to send them all of their welcome info. whether I do it through Messenger, Tova does it through email, you have to send them their username, their password, order number, subscription number, VIP customer number. And then we have a couple videos that we want to send. So we have gone and made a welcome video to kind of welcome them and just tell them a couple tips and tricks that we have. We can send you examples of what we have, but that welcome video is kind of getting your face out there and introducing them to the products. Also, we have a really good video from an RN who is on our team. Her name is Brooke Hemingway, and she goes into the products, why they're so important, why it's important to stay consistent. The video is really good for your client, so you can go ahead and send that as well. So you have 2 videos that you're sending. And then we also have our Engage app graphic that we like to send out, because the Engage app is going to help them access their own account so they can track their system, their own website. And so they have that information right there on day 1. So this is just a copy. It will be in your notes section of your phone, a copy and paste, and your day 1 is done. That is your onboarding in one message. And that sets them up. So Tova, you want to go on to reach out number 2?
Perfect. And just to review what this looks like, for step 1, I sign somebody up, and within 24 hours of that, I'm going to send them my welcome video. And that's just one I've made. I used to do it all in notes. There's not a right or wrong way. So talk to your upline to see which one you're more comfortable with. I also email them their info because I just love email. And if they forget later, they can kind of pull it up. So it's your preference. And then with my welcome, like Sabrina said, is that link to watch the Brooke Hemingway and the graphic about how to get your app. So it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Number 2, reach
really
out.
quick.
So that's number 1. Number 2, reach out is 3 days
Tova,
after their
really
order.
quick.
Yep.
Hey, it's me, Natalie. I think the Engage app is only available to brand ambassadors now. All VIPs have not been, don't have access to it. So
I'm glad you
that
said
is,
that.
yeah, it's new. And I just found out too, like, I just had like, I'm like, okay, everybody download your app. I just had like 4 people like, hey, the app's not working. You have to upgrade to brand ambassador to have access to that.
That's so unfortunate. I wonder if they'll come out with a version for other people. So for now, don't send that. Just the Brooke Hemingway. I appreciate that Brooke Hemingway video in your intro video. Number 2, reach out, is on day 3. And here's where you're going to say, it's over 48 hours since they placed their order. So we know their order has shipped by now. So you're just touching base once between the day you place their order and have sent them welcome stuff, and then, kind of their week mark where they're about, most people start. So this is in the middle of that, and you're excited and sending them, oh, your order has shipped. Here is a graphic to help guide you through when your stuff gets started. Now this is going to be specific. A lot of our people order triplex, but we have a lot of different getting started graphics, and we're going to get all those into the Empower Team page, so you'll know where to find them, and you can just pull them off of there or save them all into an album on your phone. But that person, again, I chose to try out video for a little while, and I have a video of me just saying, I'm so excited your products have shipped. Check out this custom guide for you. Let me know if you have questions. Please text me as soon as your stuff shows up, and then that's really going to take you. These videos are very short, and if you're using text instead, it can't be long. Let your upline look at it. If it's paragraphs and paragraphs, people are just not going to read it. We're lucky if people read a few sentences now. So keep it short and concise. So Sabrina, you're doing reach out number 3.
Yeah. So reach out number 3 is your client's first day when they get their products and they have just started. So I also do video. I feel like getting your face out there is really important, but you could also do voice messages, which is really effective, and text as well. It's what you feel comfortable with and what you will stay consistent with. So I sent a very quick 2-minute video telling them how excited I am, and would they be willing to take a picture of themselves, a quick selfie with their products, so they can document the first day of their journey. Then I tell them also that in 90 days, they will take another picture and they can see the drastic difference in their face. So we already have those pictures at the very beginning. It's implementing it. My clients all do this. This isn't singling you out. Take that picture, save it to your camera roll. And if you're feeling saucy that day, maybe post it and get your friends and family interested in your journey. Have them see what you're doing. A lot of people like to cheer you on. And would you be willing to just share this and tag me in it? So it kind of gets them out there. Now they have accountability. They're putting their business out on Facebook with a picture, and it documents the start of their journey. So that's a really great way on getting them started and getting their story out there. And I also really like to send a water graphic, because sometimes people don't realize how important water is, especially with supplements. So it's just a quick document, just a quick graphic rather, of how important water is and how much you should be drinking. And we'll get that graphic to you. And Toby, you have reach out number 4.
And all this is written down, so don't feel like, oh my gosh, I have to, it's good to take notes, but we do have it written down. And I was going to add something, I can't remember. Okay, don't forget there's 3 times to ask somebody to share per like Brooke Hemingway. So number 1 is when they're placing their order, when you're on the phone with them or video on like this. Like, hey, people love to know when you're starting something new. Why don't we let people know that you're starting a new journey? Number 2 is when they get their products. And then number 3 is when they start getting any changes. So everyone's going to be different, but you got to just plan to ask all 3 times, bang, 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 for everybody. So reach out number 4. This is the 4th time we've made contact with them since they, number 1 is they placed their order. Number 2 was 3 days after. Number 3 was when the day they started, and now we're to number 4. So this is, and Sabrina, correct me if I make mistakes, this is a week after they've started. So they're 7 days in, and really here, we're just encouraging them and telling them, be patient. It takes time to get into a routine. And here's really where I tell them, make sure you communicate with me and you're consistent in your products and you're patient. And it just takes some time to hone it in perfectly for you. And I always highlight, like, this is where you get to start experiencing how Plexus is different. If you just bought stuff from GNC and Target and took it home, like, good luck, figure it out. So you're not on your own. I'm here for any questions, and that's really your touch for number 4.
Yeah, agree 100%. Patience and consistency is huge, and it's better to get that out there and known very early, because it's going to be something that they're going to teeter with in month 2, 3, 4, and so on and so forth. So I am touching on reach out number 5. So this is the 5th time you're touching with your client, and it's now their day 14. So they are 2 weeks in, and this is when we start asking them questions. So now they've been on the products long enough to start feeling something. And we started asking them, what does your digestion look like? Your energy, your cravings, your mood, your sleep, and your skin. There's 6 different things that you should be touching on and bringing to their attention. So make sure that you touch on these 6 things so they understand, oh, this isn't just a one area product. This is a massive whole body product that they're going to start seeing drastic changes. And if they're having some blemishes or some kind of detox on their face, this is the time that we can explain to them, that this is not like forever. This is something that will pass, and you're going to be better for it once you get through it. So that is 2 weeks in, you kind of start touching on the products forming with the body. Go ahead, Tova.
Perfect. And of course, as you do these check-ins, you're also asking just how many of each are you on? Because even though you may have told people to move up, they'll be like, oh, I'm still on one of each. Unless you ask, they won't volunteer that. So just at the very end, I ask my questions first, and then after they've answered that, I'm like, okay, where are you at on dosing? So make sure you always follow up with that. Reach out number 6, we're 3 weeks in now. This is a big encourager, excitement, where 3 weeks of sticking with something's a big deal. 21 days in, you've really started to establish some habits. ask them if they're struggling with that. And we have tips on to where to leave your products, leave them with your toothbrush, set alarms, things like that. And at this point, we should have already added them to Empower Page and Gut Health and Happiness, but I revisit that with them. Make sure you've accepted your links for information on these pages. And maybe even that would be a good point if you find a testimony that relates to their goals, to send them the link to it, because they're not going to be able to access it unless they've accepted. So that's a good way to test. So that's your 3-week in touch.
Yes. So I'm going to talk about reach out. This is the 7th time you're reaching out, and this is their day 35. And we're just letting them know, hey, listen, your products are on their way. Your new order, Fresh Start, is on its way. And this is when I like to talk about how important and why your subscription is so important on those busy days. We don't have to think about placing that order. It's already figured in how much time you're going to need to reorder, have the shipping, and make sure you still have enough products in your home to get you through that time period. So even if they have a little bit extra, I tell them that's okay. You want a little bit extra. I personally keep half in my car, half in my house. So I have some extra that I can go to if I forget it one day. And also I tell them, hey, listen, if you have somebody interested that might want to try these, share with a friend. If you have a little bit extra, share with a friend and see if they want to do this with you. That's accountability. Accountability keeps people on about 85% of the time. So it's really important to bring that up when you're talking about the subscription as well.
Yes, exactly. So that's at, let me see, that's just over 4 weeks that they've been on the products, like 4.5. And once you notice, you see our days like written out in front of you, you'll see we talked to them on day 1, day 7, day 14, 21. And then after 21, we go to 2-week increments. So they're kind of getting into a groove. They should be close to their dosing. Of course, they can reach out to us, but we also don't want to be annoying. So Sabrina just went over day 35, and then I'm going over day 49. So really here's before their second order places, their second refill. So the 3rd order total. And this is the perfect spot to talk to them about perk points, because they've now acquired perk points from their initial order and their refill order. So where are you on your dosing? If you have extra, this is a really good time for us to sub something in or out. Now that we can customize our packs, this is way more user friendly, because we couldn't always edit, like maybe they have a bunch of extra BioCleanse and they want 2 probios instead, so they can actually go in there and do that. We can help them. And Sabrina is going to hit on one of the other follow-ups, but in essence what we've just talked about is your first 8-week package. And this sounds like a ton of work and it sounds like a ton of steps, but here's the thing. Your first 8 weeks are where the intense work is, and the follow-on month, you're going to follow up twice and really hone in on them, but then they're just on a cycle with all your other level ones. What really sucks is to put all this work into somebody for 2 or 3 weeks and then not follow up with them and not have them get good results and not have them understand why they need refills, and then they just quit. So that really stinks. So if you put in the time and effort on this end, which we've kind of taken a lot of the work out for you, if you just have this all saved in a notes list, or if you want to go ahead and make a few videos and save them to your phone so they're ready to send, you have the graphics saved, you have the link saved, and then you write it on your calendar. And often I'll just take a picture of my calendar if I don't want to take it with me, so I know what I'm supposed to do today or tomorrow. I have a picture of my calendar on my phone, so I can do voice messages and stuff while I'm driving and not miss out on anything. And you got to think, if you sign 2 or 3 people this month, 2 or 3 next month, they're all on different cycles on their 8-week follow-ups. So really it's worth putting in the effort the first 3 months to get someone started strong. And not only are they going to feel better, they're going to want to tell people. And that's really what we want. We want people doing this with their friends and family. Okay, so Sabrina is going to talk a little bit about product of the month stuff. Once they get into the first cycle, we touch base with all of our people on the 1st and 15th of every month once we've onboarded them.
Yes. So like Tova was saying, She's going to talk about the first message, and I'm going to talk about the 15th message. So this is when they're halfway through the month, and we always have a new product of the month. So this could be a really great opportunity for them to either use their perk points or just try a brand new product that they haven't tried before. So if they're on the triplex and product of the month is MetaBurn, maybe that might be a really great opportunity for them to try a new product and get double the points for it. So that is the really great way of sharing with them, but also telling them like, hey, this is a really good opportunity for you to get double the points, try some more products, and keep that conversation open monthly. It always gives you something to talk about and engage with your clients. And that is the name of the game. You always want to be engaging. Just one thing I want to go back in, always make sure that you're telling them like, have a good weekend, you know, hi, their name. You always want to address them with their name, and you always want to end it very friendly. Like, you guys are friends now. This isn't like a client customer relationship. You want to have that really personal relationship, and that's what makes us stand out. Tell them have a great weekend. Ask them what they did that weekend. Open up that conversation with them. And this is a really good way when you have, you know, when they are now into your routine, when you only reach out twice a month, this is a good way to interact if you haven't touched in with them at another time. If you saw a post that they just put out and they were in Disney, ask them how Disney was. Let them know that you are involved in their life and their well-being. So Tova's going to talk about the message that she sends out on the first.
Yes, the first one for me is kind of just an announcement for my people. And then the 15th one is where I'll kind of dig in and like look back at their page if I haven't recently and see what they're up to. But anyone who's ordering from me every month needs to be talked to at a minimum once a month. So product of the month, this is a video that I make as soon as they announce the product of the month. So usually the last day of the month or the second to last day of the month, just saying, hey, I wanted to let you know the product of the month, and you're going to get extra perk points for this. And here's a little info if you haven't used this before or it's been a little while. And so it's pretty generic. I think people can appreciate that you send product of the month info to more than one person. And then I'll send a graphic with it for that product. We have graphics that are made for every single product. So short and sweet. And then the 15th one, you can kind of customize a little more if you choose. Go ahead for that one, Sabrina, and then I think we'll wrap it up.
Well, I did all of them. I did the 15th and you do the first.
Okay. So you don't want to say anything else about the 15th? You're good with that?
I'm good. Yeah.
Okay. Yep. So I think y'all can appreciate the importance of kind of getting on a system. If you're one day late, one day early, like that's okay. You just need to get it written down and do your best. If something crazy happens that day, you had 4 people to follow up with, like, don't just be like, oh, wow, I messed up. Just check in with them the next day. Sometimes people get their products and sit on them for a week and don't start. Like, okay, cross it off your calendar and bump them up. So be flexible. But if you don't have some sort of structure and outline and guide that you're aiming for, what's the whole thing? I mess all the sayings up, but it's like, if you're not aiming for something, you'll hit nothing, or whatever that saying is. So we want to make sure we know what we're aiming for here, and we want to make sure this is relatively straightforward. And once y'all see it, I think in black and white in front of you, it's less than 1 page. Okay, it's 1 page of steps, and you can screenshot this page on your phone if you forget what I'm supposed to do on what day. And so I do encourage you to do paper. I've tried, I mean, everybody's different, but I think having a paper calendar as kind of your checks and balances, very few people have I met who keep up with retention properly with no paper. Not to say it's not impossible, but all the diamonds I know that do it have some sort of paper calendar that they write out. So we want to be following the successful people. Natalie, do you have anything to add before we hop on the peak power call?
Nope, y'all killed it. This is awesome.
And if you're new and this felt like a lot, that's okay. Just rewatch this recording and get with your upline and just talk through the steps. Okay. And they'll be able to make you feel more comfortable with it. And if you're not new, hopefully a lot of this was review and just kind of gave you some ideas for how to simplify it and connectivity. That's what we want. Less like robotic, just checking in, and more connection. So that's the goal here. All right, guys, we will see you on the next call.